going to do something a little bit different. We are going to make some cookie balls. So I have everything you're going to need in front of me. So you're going to need a pack of cream cheese. You're going to need some semi-sweet chocolate. I've chosen to use the baking kind. You're going to need a pot with a little bit of water, a bowl or another pot that can fit inside of it, a bowl to mix things in. You're going to need a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. You're going to need some decoration, so I've chosen to do sprinkles and some white chocolate. And a bag of cookies. You can use chocolate chip, you can use Oreos, as long as it's your favorite chocolate or your favorite cookie, and a crunchy cookie, preferably. And you're going to need a beater. So first you're going to unwrap your cream cheese and you're going to put it into your mixing bowl. Now you want to have a good size mixing bowl that you can mix everything in, because you're going to need all this cream cheese and the entire box of cookies. So once you have this cream cheese open, I'll do this off camera, but once you have this open, you want to take all your cookies and you want to crush them. So you can crush them in different ways. You can use your hands, you can use a rolling pin, or you can use a hammer. I've done all three. Okay, so I'm going to do some of this off camera, and when it comes back, you will see what you need to look like, okay? A hint for you is if you soften the cream cheese, so you let it sit out for several hours, then it will be so much easier to work with. So we're going to beat that before we add the cookies. One way to crush cookies, put it into a Ziploc bag or put some plastic over it to make it easy for crushing, just like that. And you'll have to let out air before you finish crushing it all. So as you see, because my cream cheese was so room temperature, so close to room temperature, it was easy to beat. And you don't need it overly whipped. You just need it to be creamy and mixable. So you clean off the beaters to make sure that you get the most amount of cream cheese back off of it. And I'll use a spatula to scrape some more off of it. So I use my small spatula and we just kind of scrape it off. It's a little awkward because I'm using my left hand. Whoops. So if you take a look, I've got all these crumbs here. I've crushed some of them really fine, some of them not so fine. So we're going to take this and we're going to add it to our cream cheese. As you see, we've got our cookies added to our cream cheese, and we are going to mix this up nice and smooth. So that way we have a dough-like consistency. So we have our cookies mixed in with our cream cheese. Next, we're going to want to take our parchment paper and lay out a piece. So lay a piece of parchment paper on your cookie sheet. Now, if you don't have parchment paper, that's okay. You can use tin foil or wax paper as well, since we are not going to be cooking these. All the parchment paper does is protect your cookie balls from sticking. we don't want them sticking onto the actual pan. So what you're going to want to do is make sure your hands are nice and clean. Use soap. If you have any rings, you want to take them off, or bracelets. I don't have bracelets, but you'll want to have clean hands completely. And you are going to form cookie ball, like little balls, probably about the size of like a quarter. Not too big, but not too small. A little bit smaller than a Timbit. There's a good Canadian term for you for size. And you're going to place them on the cookie sheet for now. Okay, so about a little bit smaller than a Timbit on the cookie sheet. Okay, so now that you have your cookie balls formed, and yes, I have a bad habit of sometimes making them big and sometimes making them small. But again, because we're not baking them, you can make them whatever size you really want. Now, I'd like you to clear a space in your freezer if you want to. It just makes the next step a little bit easier to have them slightly frozen. So you want to freeze them for maybe 20 minutes in the freezer. While you're waiting, you can get your double boiler set up. So this is what a double boiler is. You've got a pot underneath that has some water in it, and a pot or a bowl on top that does not touch the water. So when you take it out, it should be dry. So you want to set that up, and in that you want to add your chocolate. So typically when you're using chocolate in baking, you want to use your pure semi-sweet chocolate, because if you use milk chocolate, it could get too sweet. So I've again used baker's chocolate, and it comes in these squares. These squares are pre-portioned specifically. They're 1 ounce of chocolate, and there's 8 of them in a box. See? 8 1 ounce squares. So if you wanted 4 ounces of chocolate, how many squares would you want? That's right, you'd want 4. If you wanted 8 ounces of chocolate, how many would you want? Again, right, all 8. So we're going to put all 8 in there, but we're not going to leave it on the water yet. We're going to turn it on to usually max, so that way it cooks or heats up quickly. So we're going to wait for this water to boil. As you see, there's not very much. There's only a tiny bit in there. So we use the double boiler method in order not to burn the chocolate. Chocolate is made out of sugar and cocoa bean, and sugar tends to burn quickly and easily. So you need to be very careful when you're heating it up. So you might want to have an adult with you in order to do this part. So the other thing we can get ready while we're waiting is our decorations. So I am using sprinkles and white chocolate chip. So I'm not going to use both of them on a single cookie ball. I will use some of these. My daughter helped me pick these out, and they're very pretty. And we're going to use those on some of them. And then the other ones, we're going to melt these and make drizzles on some of them. And that'll look really cool. So we are waiting and waiting and waiting. And when this is boiling, I will come back. The cookie balls out of the freezer. So out they come. And I'm going to put these down. And I'm going to put the ice cream back. So the very last thing, once you have all of your cookie balls covered in chocolate, is you can decorate them in any kind of way you want. So I will take some pictures and I will post those pictures in this video of what my finished product will look like. Okay, so head on over to the books. We're reading Part-Time Mermaid and Mortimer. We'll see you over there. Bye. So we are back with the chocolate. So again, you don't want to leave it long. You want to keep stirring it because you don't want any piece to be exposed to the heat too long. Now, when chocolate burns, it becomes thick and grainy. So you don't want that. You want nice, smooth chocolate. See how smooth it's becoming? What other words could you describe chocolate in? Could you describe it as sweet, flavorful, yummy, brown, or white? Depending on what type of chocolate you use. So with this, you could also coat them in white chocolate. That is an option. However, as I said, that can get very, very sweet, especially with white chocolate being sweeter than even milk chocolate. So unless you really, really like sweet chocolate or sweet desserts, I would advise using semi-sweet chocolate. Or if you really want to tone down the sweetness, because even semi-sweet has sugar in it, you could use even dark chocolate. That will make it very rich, and some people like that. So, see how we've got a nice consistency coming here? So consistency means that the texture is nice. We want to turn our temperature right down to minimum. So we went from 10 down to 6.5. And now we're going down to 1 because we don't want to take it completely off the heat or else it's going to harden back up, which we don't want yet. So we are going to take the cookie balls that are partially frozen and we are going to take some forks and we are going to dip them one at a time into the chocolate. So you want to help it kind of coat, and then you're going to take it out, kind of tap it around a little bit, and then you're going to bring it down and you're going to set it down just like that. And then you want to go to the next one. Now you can also pick them up if you've still got clean hands or if you've washed your hands. Oops. So then you're going to plop it down and you're going to do them all just like that. Okay? I will show you at the end.